I've wrote a murder plan to kill my mom and younger brother last year. Never went through with it, and when I was in the psych ward, my mom read it. Welcome back to Reddit Reads with B. I'm B, and we got some crazy Reddit stories. I want to eat my flesh. Mutant Tangle01 says, I'm a female, 15, and I'm a sophomore in high school currently. Throughout my life, I have faced a few traumatic experiences such as abuse, sexual assault, bullying, and I suppose needing people's attention. I mean, don't we all? The past few weeks has been my first time in high school since my freshman year. I just did online school and didn't do anything. Freshman year kind of screwed me over, and I watched Gore a lot, and throughout freshman year, through like last month, I've had a toxic ex-boyfriend. I'd say it's still ongoing, but he was very toxic and would never give me attention. The first few months was amazing, but he ended up showing his true colors. I chased after him for 2 months, begging and pleading with him to get back with me, but he would just degrade me further, saying horrible things to me, like I'm fat, ugly, and he would repost about skinny alt girls. I know he's a loser, and I know he's just as much of a weirdo as me. He accepted me for a while. I think that's why I loved him so much. Right now, I'm quite over him. He still views my profile trying to get me to chase after him, but I have just given up. Sometimes I message him but it's because I want to call him names and degrade him, which he honestly deserves. I'm proud of myself for doing that. He has hurt me so much, and he's the reason I have attempted 2 times and also started my obsession with cutting myself. That's terrible. I'm a very honest person. If I lie, it eventually comes out, and I have always thought if I told someone everything, I would be able to love them. It's hard for me to love people. I've tried multiple times, people who are good for me, but I just don't think I deserve it. I think it's pretty stupid I chase after love anyway. Everyone leaves. What's the point in making stupid connections? Memories? Anyways, the past 2 weeks of school, I think it's been going great. I have a lot of friends, which I would have never expected, but today all I kind of felt was sadness, and I started to realize I don't think my friends actually like me. Some dude in my theater arts design class, I asked him if he wanted to come to the mall with me and my other friends Saturday, and he just didn't respond. It's not just that I'm pretty sure my other friend likes him, and this is weirdly worded, sorry. And she always gets in the way of us talking, kind of like territorial, I guess. With my other friends, I constantly have to text them first. It doesn't seem like they care much about me. I have 2 hangouts with different friends, and I'm not even sure I want to go anymore. They don't even seem enthusiastic about it, to be honest. And they said they would take pictures. I feel very ugly, so I probably would just decline it. And to add it, my ex calls me mean names. Also, my account got age restricted. I feel like everything good isn't real. I struggle with derealization sometimes, but I mainly want to speak about my corrupt mind today. I have really bad intrusive thoughts, and I'm addicted to hurting myself. As in having cold showers, hot showers, letting my cat scratch me. For some reason, it gives me a good sensation. My intrusive thoughts are horrible. More than 10 times a day, I fantasize about torturing kids, babies, shooting up my school, or killing myself violently at school. I don't think I've ever hurt anyone or will. I'm much too much of a wimp, and I don't want jail time. Wow, this is insane. I wrote a murder plan to kill my mom and younger brother last year. Never went through with it, and when I was in the psych ward, my mom read it. I've also tortured a lot of animals before. I've stopped now because I simply don't have time, and I don't know. Last year, I would choke my guinea pig until they lost consciousness. It wasn't out of pleasure. I just wanted to bring them back to life after. But about the title. For my theater set design, there's many tools that look like hammers, and even those woodcutter things. My mom doesn't let me have theater or any sharp objects or my glue gun because she knows how addicted I am to it. My mom always says, reach out, but when I tell her about my problem, she cries and gets stressed out because I change my mind from being happy then sad. I hate my whole family, and the reason I don't hate the common female and male is because I don't know them well enough to hate them. I think I've healed since last year, definitely, but I'll have days like these where I just wish to die. Next Monday, I plan on going in the bathroom and cutting myself or hitting myself with the hammer. I've also daydreamed about doing it in public to traumatize others. Stabbing myself repeatedly until death, eating my flesh off of my arm, shoved my head in the woodcutter. I hate myself. My personality is fine, but my looks are terrible. I take care of myself and don't overeat much, but I feel as if I'm deformed. My mom and father are very ugly and have cursed me with my genetics, and it effing sucks. No matter what I do, like lose weight, I still would not look good. I wish I was at least average looking so I could date an actual good man that I like. But I'm cursed with my ugly face. I look like I look like what most people hate. I try to wear makeup, but it looks wrong and I suck at it. But anyways, I'll wrap this up. Whoa. Well, guys, this is a hot story. This is only 3 minutes old. I don't know how I caught it this hot. But, whoa. I don't even know how to take this in. This is a lot of things going on. You have a lot of trauma that, I mean, I know you said you went to the psych ward, but like, do you have ongoing help continuously? Like, are you able to access that sort of thing? Like, this is, I mean, the way you're describing hurting animals and liking to do it, it reminds me of Dexter, the show. I don't know if y'all know that, but it's about like a serial killer, but like a good one, in a sense. It doesn't sound like you want to be like that, though. And I'm sorry that you're going through this. It seems like you definitely have some really terrible thoughts, not only about yourself, but about others. Torturing kids and babies, or committing a school shooting, or hurting yourself at school just to traumatize other people. I don't really know what else to say other than I think that you need some serious help. This is not normal at all. And I know you're saying you want to be normal, and you're in all honesty, like, I think a lot of this might be deep-rooted to self-hatred and maybe exposure to other things that are causing you to look at yourself that way, or I don't really know, but I definitely think that not seeking help is not a good route. I wish you the very best. This is probably one of the most insane stories that I've read on here, actually. Welcome, guys. That was the first story. Definitely starting off strong here, or crazy, but we got plenty more to go. I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks for clicking on. All right, this next one is from Joy to D World 19. It is titled, "I exposed my sister's affair. Now everyone blames me for destroying her family." So, the past few days have been such a doozy. I need to get this off my chest. So last week I found out that my sister, who is 45, has been cheating on her husband with her own son's friend, who is like 21. What the hell? And his friend is also the same age. Or him and his friend are the same age. I saw them entering a motel quite a ways away from our hometown as I was going to doing delivery for my work. I went and confronted her, and she confessed from her own mouth that this is and has been going on for quite a long time. Holy crap. Then came the waterworks, that it was a mistake and that it wasn't serious, and she was just unhappy with her marriage and just looking to feel young, in quotations. Now, I'm close with my brother-in-law, and I know that he is such a good husband to my sister and a great dad to my nephew and niece, and I thought he deserved to know the truth and gave her the ultimatum to either tell him or I'll tell him myself. She agreed, and a few days passed, and I assumed she told him the truth and they were going through their thing. But a few days later, I saw her at the cafe with the same guy giggling away. That's disgusting. After that, at that exact moment, I called my brother-in-law and told him the truth, and apparently he had confronted her the same day and was denying it for quite some time, but eventually broke down and came clean. He told her to get out from the house, and she has been living with her in her parents' house for a week now. Every relative of ours and our parents has been constantly messaging and calling me and telling me that I had no right to ruin my sister's life like this. My sister, when I went to my parents' house, freaked out on me, calling me a sad loser for being single at 40, and probably having a crush on my brother-in-law. WTF, I don't go for other people's man, especially not my sister, was the reason I ousted her. Oh, saying that you had a crush on him and that's actually the reason? Maybe it's actually because you're just a terrible person. Her husband has been taking it very badly and apparently has been drowning his sorrow. Also filed for divorce, and the kids have been completely devastated. My niece even flew down from another state from her college to be with her father. The kids are completely siding with the father and seem to absolutely hate my sister now. My nephew even went to that friend's house and fought. Oh, damn. I mean, I would too if someone was like, my own friend was leaving with my mom. This whole drama have been messing with my head, and I'm contemplating if I actually am wrong for interfering with my sister's life like this and ruining a family. P.S. Posting it from a throwaway account to dodge any more drama. I mean, that's probably not a bad idea. I don't think you're wrong at all. I think that's absolutely absurd that your family's siding with them knowing that she's completely in the wrong. she's cheating on her husband, and I mean, yeah, that's her relationship, but at the end of the day, like that's your family, like that's your brother-in-law, you know. It's still the right thing to do. You know, if it wasn't your family, would they feel the same way about this? I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's just really you being a decent human being and not allowing someone to think that their partner's being loyal to them when in reality they're out here fucking someone half their age. Pardon my French, but like that's just disgusting. And then also like being confronted about it, making a sob story, and then playing the victim and not, you know, trying to fix it or get ahead of it, but then later on being with the same guy at a different date, that's disgusting. And I think you deserve every bad thing that comes your way. Wow. Hopping into these comments, I was not expecting this. This was absolutely none of your concern. What is it that makes you so judgmental? Whoa. Is criticizing cheating really judgmental? Isn't it pretty widely agreed upon that this is a scumbag thing to do? Yep, I'm pretty sure everyone would agree with that. Yeah, I would have stayed out of it myself. Not my business, especially when the kids are adults now. Agreed, and I have the same question. I mean, I don't necessarily think it's wrong for telling someone that they're being cheated on, but you know, it's not like she's sitting there like trying to like swoop in and steal her man. Like I obviously it's not her, you know, relationship, but at the end of the day, it's, you know, her nieces and nephews that are going to be affected, and it's her brother-in-law. I mean, I'm sure she cares for these people as well. And then someone else, Remy Sasha, said, being the one to spill this kind of news is tough, but it sounds like you did the right thing for your brother-in-law. Agreed. Gone Baby Thoughts said, you witnessing this didn't cause anything to happen. That was already happening. She could have easily been caught by someone else. Apparently the rest of your family is also trash because they're not placing the accountability for her actions on her. Ignore them. She ruined her family. 100%. I know that if I, like, let me, if I were the one to be the person in this situation, you know, cheating on my significant other, and someone in my family found out, they would absolutely tell my wife, because that's a disgusting, terrible thing to do. And I think that if you think it's okay, then you're a pretty sub-tier human, in all honesty. All right, let's go into story number 3. This is from throwawayforever_22, another throwaway account. My boyfriend and I are terrible people. Why is that? I'm with him because I have nowhere else to go. My family's abusive, and I'm in a new country with barely any friends, and I moved in with him because rent is expensive and students aren't allowed to work. We used to love each other. But then I caught him cheating on me, or at least severely violating my trust. He was acting shady, so I went through his phone and saw him sending explicit photos of me to his friends. They were talking about how they'd use me. I hated him after that, and I never brought it up because he gives me security. Wow, that is extremely disgusting. Things changed with us after then. He only uses me for sex and status, in quotations. I think I only use him for security. After that, I started selling myself online out of spite, and maybe a weird act of revenge or power play. Even though he doesn't know, if he wants other men to see me so bad, maybe it should be on my terms. I mean, yeah, maybe he has a kink for that sort of thing, but still, like, that's a violation of your privacy and absolutely should not have been done without your permission at the very least, if you would be okay with something like that, that is. We still have good moments, we laugh and go on dates and we cuddle, but things have changed. He doesn't know I know about the things he does, and he doesn't know about the things I do. But our relationship has changed. It would be better if we left each other, but we're staying because we're both cowards, and it would be more effort for us to leave. Just wanted to get this off my chest. Wow, that sucks. My take is, it sounds like, I mean, I wouldn't say that you're meant for each other, because it definitely seems, I don't know, obviously all of it leading up to this, but your boyfriend, or, you know, whatever you would call him, doesn't respect you, clearly, and is essentially, like, you know, prostituting you almost. I know he's not selling them, but he's for a rise of himself using these photos to do something, whether it be get attention from his friends, or if he gets arousal from it, or whatever it may be. But regardless, it's a heinous thing to do, in my opinion, and revenge porn is illegal. I don't know what country you're in, but here in America it definitely is. And that That's terrible, and I'm sorry that you're in that situation. I don't think that you should sell your body, especially if you're just doing it out of spite. Now, if it's something that you want to do, I suppose, but that should be on your own terms, as you're saying. But it sounds to me like you're not really doing it because you want to do it. You're doing it just because he's already doing it. So you're like, well, other people have seen my body. I might as well try and make some money off of it, which I think is a bad reason to do that. Now, if you want to just be, that kind of person and sell your body, like to each their own. But I think that you're kind of feeding into it and giving him kind of what he wants almost. I'm sorry that you don't think that you deserve better. Hopping into these comments, Meme Gimp says, "Meh, I stayed in a relationship with an awful person for 8 years. You will regret every moment lost which you did not leave. 100%. I think that you're going to regret it for the rest of your life for staying with him a day longer." Absolutely. I regret every waking moment, that the original poster says. I wouldn't say he deserves better after what he's done, but we resent each other and it's not healthy. Unfortunately, I don't have anywhere else to go, so it's either homeless or live with a man like him, which I'll take. You said you are selling yourself online? Stash your money in a separate account. You don't have to tell anyone anything. Just prepare, and once you have enough, leave. Everyone thinks they have no options. When in the thick of it, I took the leap and I got a shared room in a shared house. It cost me less than $400 a month, bills included, and I built my life back. Currently in a flat with my partner of 6 years, and we have a great relationship. Exactly. Good advice. I have a pretty hefty amount in my savings. I'm big on investing in finances, so I'm making well of what I have. But it barely makes a dent in what I'm saving up for, which is a master's degree abroad so I can immigrate out of my trash country and settle in a better place. In your confession, you stated that you were in a new country. This comment you wrote, "so I can immigrate out of my trash country," which implies that you're out of your native country. Seems like another made-up confession. Oh, someone's trying to call him out and say this is fake. I'm a South Asian woman who immigrated to a slightly better country for education, which I will be rinsing and repeating until I'm in a better place. My master's is the gateway to that. I do not prefer either my native country nor the country I am in now to settle. That's the scary part. You can replace money and stuff, but you can't get those years back. 100%. You'll never be able to get your youth back. Please make sure you don't get pregnant by him. I mean, yeah, I'd agree. You don't want to be bonded with this person for the rest of your life. Coffee extra cream, that's a very good thing. That's a good comment to make. I'm sure she didn't want to get pregnant by him, but no hurt in saying it. Embarrassed Rub 2200 says, "To be honest, the title is a lie. You are absolutely not a terrible person. Like the others say, try to save money and then get away from this apartment with his forced boyfriend." Thank you for saying that, and I didn't really need to leave that in there, but I don't know that there's no evidence in the story that promotes you to being a terrible person. I just think that you have been taught that you don't deserve, certain respect, or at least don't have a certain amount of respect for yourself. I lied to my family about losing my job 8 months ago, and I'm still lying. This is story number 4. Let's hop into it. I, 29 male, have been responsible one in my family since I was 22. First one with real job, first one with savings. You get the picture. My family treated that like a communal bank. My sister needed rent money, my brother needed car repairs, my mom needed help with utilities. I don't want to sound heartless. I know things are hard for everyone, and I generally don't mind helping. The problem is it never stopped, and it never came back. Over about 6 years, I gave out around $23,000. I received maybe $400 of that back. That's insane. And only because my mom made my sister pay me back for a birthday gift. 8 months ago, I had to dip into my emergency fund to fix my own car, and I mentioned it to my mom. She said, "Well, at least you have your savings." And then 2 days later, asked me for $600 from my brother. Something in me just quietly snapped, and I didn't even plan it. I told her my company had layoffs, and I was one of them. I have a good job. I still have my job. I work from home, so it's easy. My life has never been this peaceful. Nobody asked me for anything. My phone stopped ringing, and that stung a lot more than I expected. Because now, I know most of those calls were transactions. My mom checks in maybe once a month and asks about the job search. I tell her the market is rough, and it definitely is, so that's not even a full lie. That's fair, but you're not really looking. The funny thing is, nobody has offered to help me, not once. They all know I'm, in quotations, broke, and suddenly everyone's budget is too tight. Here's what actually I feel guilty about. My niece had a birthday in March, and I told them I couldn't afford to fly out. I could afford it. I just couldn't sit through the dinner listening to my sister talk about her new nails while she owes me $4,000. I skipped a little kid's birthday to avoid an awkward conversation. That is honestly the worst thing I've done to someone who didn't deserve it. I mean, yeah, that does suck. Especially if they wanted you there. I don't plan on telling them. I'll find a job, eventually with a lower salary so the request stays small. I mean, yeah, just tell them that you found a lower paying job that it probably that you're getting by. I guess I just needed to say it somewhere. Anyone else done something like this? I feel like the villain in a story, but I'm also the victim. I mean, I don't think you're the villain at all. That sounds like you just have a really shitty family. I mean, I think that you should probably tell that your people to not be so dependent on you. $23,000 that you've just given out. That's absurd. Obviously if you could afford it, that's one thing, or you didn't really care to have the money back, or you were just doing it out of the kindness of your heart. But this is like people asking, and I'm sure they, phrase it in a way of, oh, I'll pay you back the moment I can, and just not. I mean, sitting there getting new nails and talking about that while owing you $4,000, that's absurd. And honestly, just disrespectful. I think that you're doing the right thing and, maintaining and protecting your peace. All right, hopping on to the comments. Parody of Self says, sadly, I don't think you have a family. You are related to some people, but they aren't your friends. End the lie. But don't be their slave. In all honesty, I think it'd be awesome if you just said, you know what? No, actually, I'm doing really well, and I'm not going to support you. Like, you support yourself. Be an adult. Next commenter, Mang46. Texting them, requesting loans until you can get that $23,000 back. I mean, yeah, that'd be one way to get your money back is, sit there and be like, can you help me out? Can you just let me feel a little bit with here? But in all honesty, it sounds like they couldn't even afford that. Someone else said, my mom's like this too. In the last month or so, I've lent her nearly $3,000. And just the other day, she asked for $2,000 like it's nothing. It's very frustrating, and I feel guilty to say no. I started setting aside an amount each month I'm willing to give my family to help. I started telling people that I have a budget, and when they ask me for too much, it's out of my budget of what I can afford to give them. When they say they will pay me back, I tell them they haven't before, which is why I now have a strict budget. I mean, yeah, especially just why tell someone that you're going to pay it back or give a date if you know that you're not going to be able 100% to pay it back at that time. That in itself is a bad thing. All right, Redditor No Meringue 600 asks us, am I the asshole for breaking up with my boyfriend for the way he runs? Let's see. For context, we have been having relationship problems. He doesn't take my feelings into account, and I have tried to communicate this with him, but he simply won't listen to me. The other day, we had a conversation regarding misogyny within his workplace that I have noticed. The debate over the term "run like a woman" was started by a male coworker of his resulting in an argument between my boyfriend and his female coworker. She insisted that the phrase was misogynistic, while he insisted that it simply is a biological difference between men and women that makes men more capable of running fast and efficiently. Interesting. This argument spiraled, and I was so sick of hearing about it, I asked him to race. I'm not exactly a fast runner, but neither is he, so I honestly had no idea what would happen or why I offered to race him. I mean, especially if he beat him, that'd be awesome. We set a start and finish line and decided we would go each other separately for the most accurate results. I went first, and he recorded my time to run. I crossed the yard in 8 seconds. It was his turn, and he crouched down at the starting line, and when I said go, he took off running. His arms never left his side. He let them hang to his side, and they bounced while he ran, resulting in him looking like a flapping bird. I was so disgusted with what I was seeing I could hardly focus on his time. He finished in just under 8 seconds, beating me, but I did not care in the slightest. I rewatched the video of him running over and over again, convinced he couldn't seriously just run like that, his arms hanging down by his side, bouncing freely with each stride. It ticked me out so bad I was already debating breaking up with him due to his misogynistic attitude, but after seeing him run, it was the final straw. I went home that evening and called him saying our personal beliefs didn't line up and I couldn't see the relationship progressing. But deep down I know it was the way he ran that sealed the deal for me. In all honesty, I think you did him a favor. Maybe he's gonna sit there and contemplate and think about, is it really me being a misogynist, or is it the fact that I run like an idiot? Has no one taught him how to run? I mean, your arms go with you. I mean, it's not that hard. I think my little cousins know how to do that properly. It's pretty funny that he's also making fun of women and also having about running. Yet there's plenty of women that, not even professional athletes, that would probably smoke him based off the way you're telling me that he runs. What does he think he is, about to like go hit the water, like dive in like head first? Like I'm trying to imagine this in my head and I just can't. But yeah, I don't think you're the asshole, mainly because he's just, doesn't respect women. But if really the way he ran was the pushing point for you, like maybe like if you're in danger, you don't want to see him running at you, freaking arms to the side, looking around like he's armless. He only has his legs as his extremities. That's pretty silly, in my opinion. I think that I'd rather just be offed at that point than if he had to run to save me, or well, you. Not me. I'm not into guys. Straight women over here, but respectfully. Alrighty, let's hop onto these comments. Bottles and Throttle says, "Sorry, but this is hilarious. I recall being irked by a former boyfriend walk like the way they walked. So I find this story plausible. It's crazy how one tiny thing can suddenly make someone completely unattractive to you. I mean, that's fair. Like, especially like if you hold like what if someone like held their spoon or fork really weird, like shoveled their food in their mouth? Like that would be a complete turn off for me. Or I don't know, like sneezed like really weirdly, or like didn't cover their nose and like had like snot and everything coming all like that. Those are like things that would definitely like be a turn off for me. I think they're kind of equivalent to running weird. Or like smacking. Smacking is a total turn off for me. Or just a total just unattractive thing. Not even a turn off. I just think that's kind of gross. Like I don't want to hear you run or smack or or like slapping the floor while you run. I mean, I can go on for days. Tyler Calkin 123 says, "So it wasn't because of the way he ran. I guess I should have clarified. I decided breaking up with him before the incident, and the run-in changed my mind entirely." Oh, she was against breaking up with him, and had clarified, and was all good and dandy, and then the fact that he really pushed her over the edge with this running. I mean, as she says in the, post, but that's pretty hilarious. That, I mean, if you would have said no to the running, you would in theory still be together, until like later on in your life that he had to do some sort of physical running activity, and I just don't understand, why would you even, how is that comfortable to even keep your hands by your side? Maybe maybe he's a little special or something. I don't know, not like in a bad way, but like maybe he never got taught how to run. Like I know I got taught how to like cartwheel and like skip when I was in like first or second grade or pre-K. So maybe he just missed that fundamental class. Maybe he was sick that day. All right. Usually I'd leave a little bit left after just for you to watch, but I think I'm going to just read this quick one because it's kind of interesting. Lost Title 7528 says, "I should have gotten my ex-girlfriend pregnant. Perhaps we'd still be together. I can't get my ex-girlfriend out of my mind. I screwed up our relationship because I was messing with other girls on the side. I tried to make amends, but she's not listening. Like, how can she be so heartless after all we've been through? We were talking about having children, starting a family together, and she wants to end that all because I made a couple mistakes. I tried moving on with other females, but it's not working. I'd be laid up in bed with a new chick while thinking about my ex-girlfriend. Maybe she left you because you're illiterate as well. I regret not getting her pregnant, honestly. I had many chances, but I always pulled out like a coward. I feel like perhaps if I would have impregnated her, she'd be more forgiving." Whoa. Yeah, no, quick opinion here. You're a dumbass, number one. Number two, I'm happy for that girl. Thankfully she's not trapped with some dumbass like you that doesn't know grammar or proper spelling or how to structure a sentence, because that was terrible to read. 0 upvotes, 80 comments. Yeah, I think that you're totally in the wrong, and I agree with the top comment that this has to be rage bait, because there's no way in hell that you think that y'all would work out or have a great relationship. You're clearly a cheater, and it doesn't seem like you have much remorse for it. You're just upset that she doesn't want you anymore, in all honesty. Because if you truly loved her that much, you probably wouldn't have even tried to move on. Like, you probably would have been fucking sick. Oh, pardon my French. Hopefully YouTube doesn't unmonetize this if it gets monetized. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Y'all have a great rest of your night. More to come.